A manager who revolutionized how football, has been played for the past decade, made his 1,000 managerial appearance over the weekend, and his team were 3-0 victors over Liverpool. I am talking about Pep Guardiola. Welcome to Touchlight News Football Show, and it is another episode of our weekend review. I am your host, Jimelo Henry, and I have a guest here with me, Mr. Barry, Chelsea fan. Barry, you are welcome.
Welcome, sir.
Okay. Let me run down some of the weekend, results. Liverpool lost to Manchester City 3-0. Chelsea were 3-0 victors over Wolves. Tottenham 2, Man United 2. Arsenal and Sunderland drew 2-2. Aston Villa defeated Bournemouth 4 goals to nil. West Ham were 3-2 winners over Burnley. Nottingham Forest defeated Leeds United 3-1. In the Spanish Laliga, it was Rayo Vallecano 0, Real Madrid 0. Barcelona were 4-2 victors over Elche. German Bundesliga, for the first time this season, Bayern Munich dropped points as they played out 2-2 draw with Union Berlin, while Bayer Leverkusen were 6-0 victors. We go to Serie A. Napoli lost to Bologna 2-0. AS Roma won by 2 goals to nil. Inter Milan were 2-0 winners over Lazio. Barry, these are some of the weekend, results that we saw. But in our review, I want us to start with, Manchester City and Liverpool. Pep Guardiola, since he made his managerial debut, as a Barcelona B team manager since 2007, he has managed 1,000 matches where he has over 700 victories. And you've seen how football is being played for the past 10 decades, that almost every manager has tried to emulate his tiki-taka, pattern of game. So having seen that match yesterday, what did you see from Man City? Are they really back because they were in a super form against Liverpool yesterday, and now they are 4 points behind the Arsenal. So what did you see from the match, and going forward, are you expecting Man City to maintain the level of yesterday, or was it because Liverpool, were very bad?
Okay, it's a big congratulations to Pep Guardiola's team having won the league match yesterday and going home with 3 points. It was a very impressive match, a very nice form, and kudos to Man City for picking up their form a bit again. And it wasn't an easy match, but all of a sudden they make it look as if it was nothing they were doing. But thanks to the players, Erling Haaland and Co, putting on the best, getting the whole 3 points, and putting Arsenal at risk, because any mistake Arsenal makes now, the point is going down, and also Man City is picking up the form. And I believe they will kick off from where they started from Liverpool's game.
Okay, my own thought about the match. I saw the match between City and Liverpool yesterday. Man City were in total dominance from beginning to end. Liverpool could even find their rhythm in that game. I know Liverpool haven't been in a very good form, but the way Man City executed that match yesterday, so they are a very deserved, winners. And now they are 4 points behind the, table toppers, Arsenal. I know that now, some Arsenal fans, will be thinking, this one that Man City, are behind us with this margin. I hope we are going to be
It's too
safe
close, too
this
close.
season, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was a total, dominant from Manchester City, and kudos to Pep Guardiola, managing his 1,000 career, matches as a coach, and what a way of, coming out of that is with a 3-0, victory. Okay. The next match I want us to review, is your club, Chelsea. Chelsea, your club was defeated the Wolves,
The
Managerial
biggest club.
Wolves, 3-0. Chelsea were superb, no doubt about it, against Wolves. Even though Wolves this season, is the worst Premier League team so far, but they are yet to even win a match this season. But you saw your club, Chelsea, came out, 3-0 victorious over Wolves. What can you say about the match and what were you impressed about? Thank you.
All right. Let me say very big congratulations to the Chelsea Football Club. Congratulations to all our fans for making out your time, sharing of the club, and a special thanks to Ganacho. He was superb in the game. He was contributive and active. All the players did well. It wasn't a game I was expecting it that way because the first game we played against Wolves,
That
that
was
was
a cup match
a
now,
cup match,
where you people won them 4-3.
and they were kind of a threat, a little bit threat to us. All of a sudden, they played well, but I saw a different Chelsea spirit yesterday, getting a 3 points before the international break, and I believe I'm just praying against injury so that coming back from the international break, we kick off from where we stopped. The target for the trophy, the champion is not too far. The margin is just 6 points behind at Arsenal, 2 points behind Man City. We can make it. It's not too big. It's not too small. Just to be consistency in our winning hand. That's all.
Well, you said, your own thoughts, but my thought about that match, yes, Chelsea were very super playing at home, but this is a Wolves team that has been terrible this season. So yes, I know that a team is as good as their last result, and every match in the Premier League is a very difficult match, regardless of the position of the particular team. But you don't need to use Wolves, to judge Chelsea's standard this season, because we've seen how the season is going so far. Outside the Arsenal, who have been consistent most of the seasons, every other team has been dropping points, left, right, and center. But we know that we still have a long way to go in this Premier League 2026 season. The next match I want us to review, is the Tottenham and the Man United match, a match that ended 2-2. At a point, it was a very dull game. Before the ending minutes of the match, where the goals started, flying. So we saw the match, and what did you notice in the match? And going forward, where do you think that the both teams need to improve?
Okay, talking about Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. It was a hot game. When I say a hot game, they both sides did well, but I must say Tottenham was in the dominance from the first half of the game. They played very well. Uh, Manchester United never impressed me in the game. Only two shot on target in the 90 minutes game. Although
Sometimes football matches are like that.
utilize their chances,
Because
the only two chances
two
they
shots on
have,
target and
which were
scored
converted
two
into
goals.
goals. And it's a narrow escape, just like they escaped from getting losing the 3 points against Nottingham Forest, and the same thing at the same 9 minutes against
But you cannot call it
Tottenham
a not
Hotspur.
escape, because against Nottingham Forest, Man
Is
United took the lead. Nottingham Forest came back into the game second
It's a
half,
narrow
and they were
escape. It's
leading.
a narrow escape from when
You
from
you
when
you
Nottingham Forest took the
you,
lead.
you cannot call it a first. They were leading. They
Yes,
relinquished
they
the lead
lose. They lose
to
the
Nottingham Forest. So you
okay.
cannot call it a narrow escape
Now
again.
what then happens?
Just
It's a narrow.
continue, continue. I know you are a controversial
It's not. I'm not
and
being
anti-Man
controversial.
U,
I'm
so
trying to give you the
that is
realistic
okay.
because when Man U won the first half, likewise against Tottenham, and coming up from second half, the game, the table changed, and Tottenham came up with the leading. It was a narrow escape because it's the 9 minutes, the last minutes in the extra time. That was when they equalized. So it's a narrow escape. If not, it would have ended the victory to Tottenham Hotspur.
Then
But
he forgot the fact that Man U were at a point leading up until 85th minute.
we only
Yeah?
count
You only count
you
what?
only count the last result,
The last
not the
what
starting
is,
point.
what is the last result? What do you mean by the last?
The last result
The
is
game ended 2-2.
the game. That's what I'm
Which
saying.
was the last result?
That's last goal.
Which
That's
last
what
goal?
I'm trying to talk about now. The
Man U were
last goal
leading a
came
match.
late.
Tottenham came back and we are
No,
leading. Now you're not saying that Man U now.
let's not argue this because
There's nothing to argue.
to be frank with you, the Manchester United form was not impressive because as a big team, you won your game from the first half and you let your opponent
Okay, that is football.
to
That
so
is football. It happens in football.
to kind of
it's not
equalize and even win you. You now
So,
struggle
it happens
to
so
to
there's
play a
no way you
draw.
are going to sit down here and tell the whole world that even your club Chelsea has not really.
We did when Chelsea made a mistake.
When it comes to Man United,
When Chelsea did the same thing, I made a complaint also because as a football fan, if you don't give in your contributions, nothing will change. So it wasn't an impressive form from the both sides. They ended a 1-1 draw, but let's watch out their next match after the international break.
Yeah. Well, the last on our list of review, is the table toppers Arsenal and Sunderland. Mr. Ball, we've seen how good Sunderland are this season, and we've seen how defensively good Arsenal can be this season. But Sunderland were able to breach that defense and score the Arsenal 2 goals. The match ended 2-2. Now, do you think that it was a 2 points dropped or 1 point gained, considering how Sunderland are performing this season? Because looking at the table now, the table now is now closing based on the fact that Arsenal before City played, if they had won Sunderland, it would have been maybe plus or minus like 9 points advantage over Arsenal. But after last weekend's matches, now it is now 4 points between Arsenal and Man City. Please, briefly, what can you say about the match between Sunderland and Arsenal?
Okay, it wasn't easy for the both sides. Coming to Sunderland's midfield, where you see the former Arsenal player and also, if I'm not mistaken, is was once captain Saka, who knew everything about Arsenal's playing pattern. And coming to Sunderland, those people, I don't know what the coach is doing here. Playing a five-man defense, locking from the back, locking the midfield with the four players, and just sending a surviving attacker. It was a very tough match. And my Arsenal side, they did well. They did all they could to pick up the points. Also, the match wasn't easy for the both sides, but I wasn't expecting a draw from Sunderland coming to talking about Arsenal with them. But it's called football, and after 90 minutes, decision will be taken from either a draw, or someone goes home with 3 points.
Arsenal, it was a difficult match for them, having to travel to, a Solomon flight to go and meet impressive Sunderland, who this season, is surprising whole football fans, not knowing that they came from, relegation, but they have been impressive, especially now their captain, Granit Xhaka, he has been the one behind almost every success of Sunderland this season, dictating the play for midfield and leading by example. So it was really a tough match for Arsenal. So Sunderland, on the other hand, showed how good they are also. Now this season, now they have defeated Chelsea. They have gotten a point against the Arsenal. So if they maintain the level of concern that they have, I believe they are going to finish maybe in the top half of the table. Then on Arsenal, they will see this one as 2 points dropped against Sunderland. But after the international break, they will be having some tough matches. I believe if they really want to win this Premier League title, they need to, continue showing their consistency going forward. So that is it for this weekend review. Thank you for listening to us. Uh, Visit our social media, platforms. We are on X at Torchlight News underscore. We are on Facebook as a Torchlight News. We are on Instagram as a Torchlight News NG. On YouTube as Torchlight News NG. And visit our website www.torchlightnews.com.